This is Wrap the News. Today's topic is about marriage, who we can marry and who we cannot marry by the laws and statutes of the Most High God. These are not the words to Wrap the News, and I just want you to know, as myself, that if you believe in God, you have to come to the understanding that you don't have options. Option or free will is the right to burn in hell. That's all free will and options is. See, we are to do the will of Him who sent us. If we exercise free will, that is the exercising of the free will to reject God. God's will be done, not ours. So, the thing about the Old Testament, the law, that law wasn't given to Gentiles. So let's read Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. What did that mean? That we always have to speak the words of this book. Depart out of your mouth mean live, talk, eat, and sleep by this book. Who is he talking to? He's talking to Hebrews. He's talking to sons of Adam. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night on this book. What is this book? The Torah. That thou mayest observe to do everything according to what is written there. And you can read it. To do according to all that is written therein. Do it, says God. You don't have an option. Option means you want to burn in hell. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous if you do what God said do. And thou shalt have good success. I've tried it. I've been doing this book for over 20 years. If you go apart from the book, the enemies come in and destroy everything that you have. Take my word on that. Genesis 5:1. This is the book. So now we're saying, this book shall not depart out of thy mouth. Who was he talking to? Sons of Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam in the day that God created man. So now we have two species walking the earth. We have man and jinn. Man and Gentile. Gentile is one like the Son of Man, but not the Son of Man. Every time you hear one like the Son of Man, you are dealing in Gentile. There is the creation of the angels. Then there was the creation of the Gentile. Then there was the creation of mankind. The Gentile, aka jinn, and then men. There is no other wise creation that we know of. And so what's written in this book are angels, Gentile, men. And so God is making a distinguish between all of us, or he's distinguishing between us all. So he said, this book is for the generations of Adam in the day that God created Adam. Romans 2:14. For the Gentiles who are jinn, not having the law, this is not your book. This book wasn't made for you. Do by nature the things in the law. These not having the law are a law to themselves, meaning lawless. They are the lawless ones. That is the truth. Deuteronomy 32:8. God divided to the nations their inheritance when he separated the sons of Adam from them. So God separated the sons of Adam, meaning that they are not the sons of Adam, meaning that this book is not their book. That's why they don't have the law. If he gave this book, he gave it to direct people. The direct people he gave it to are the sons of Adam. Gentiles are not the sons of Adam. They are the sons of Satan. Satan and his host. They are the host of heaven. Right? That's what they call them, a.k.a. The angels can be the host of heaven, and others can be the host of heaven, but They call the Gentiles the host of heaven. And he said, you are not to worship the host of heaven. And so their God, Christ crucified, is the host of heaven. Because he already told you to do what? To observe to do everything in his law. You can't have no God in front of God. Neither can you serve and worship anything besides God. If you serving and worshiping anything besides God, that is idol worship. Christianity, 100%, is false and idol worship. Let's move on. We're still talking about marriage, but we got to get past all of this because some people think the book is for them and the book is not for you whatsoever. So God is only talking to the Israelites, right? Deuteronomy 14:2. You have been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and he has chosen you from all the nations of the earth to be his own special treasure. So now God said he what? He set us apart from them. What did that mean? He cast out the Gentiles, right? He divided to the nations when he separated. Set apart, separated, cast out. That means he didn't want us really dealing with each other. Why? Because when he made the Gentile, which he called the crooked serpent, which he called the beast of the field, and the Gentiles have many names in the Torah that are not friendly to Gentiles, because the book wasn't made for them anyway. These are the names that they are called. Psalm 78:55. He cast out the Gentiles also before them, who? The children of Israel, the sons of Adam. And he divided them an inheritance by line, and made the tribes of Israel to dwell in the Gentiles' tents. Yeah. No said. Acts 10:28. So Old Testament, New Testament. And he said unto them, you know how that it is unlawful thing. It is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. So we can't sleep with them. When the book is saying in Leviticus, man shall not lie with beasts like he lied with man. Neither shall you get naked in front of a beast. It is talking about Gentiles. We are not allowed to sleep with Gentiles. Because what? They are not the sons of Adam. We are two different species. That is why. It's just like, let's say aliens actually really existed. They don't. They just jinn. And they came down. And they are a different species from you. And God says, do not sleep with the aliens. Do not be with the aliens. He divided you from the aliens. That is cut and dry. You don't go near the aliens. If they look like you, that don't mean that they are you. Everybody understand? Let's keep going. 2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore come out from among them, New Testament again, and be separate. Why? Because God separated you and set you apart. God separated the sons of Adam from them. It is not lawful for us to be marrying each other or sleeping with each other. That is unlawful in the sight of the Most High God, and it angers God. Because why? You are breaking the commandments. For you to be with a Gentile, you are illegal. For you to marry a Gentile, you are definitely illegal. Leviticus 18:24. Well, we'll start with. Come out from among them and be ye separate, says the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing. So the Gentile is unclean. So he called the Gentile crooked serpent. That means he made the Gentile a mischief maker. And what else he said? And they are unclean. That means that they are not pure. But what did he say about man in Job? I created man upright. He made the spirit of man to go upwards, and the spirit of the beast, which is the Gentile, to go downwards. So they was doomed to hell. That's why they don't get a holy book. No holy book was ever given to Gentiles. Ever. If a Gentile say he has a holy book, he stole it from you. That is the truth. And then if they predicted and making all these dark prophecies and everything, we have books of dark prophecies and everything else. When we were in Israel, when they invaded Israel, they took all our stuff, and that's why they know what's going to go on from now to the end of time. When they left us in the blind, when before we had that information. And just like I said, it's not a racist talk. It is. I'm reading it exactly. These things actually happen. Leviticus 18:24, English Standard Version. Do not make yourself unclean by any of these things, for by all these the nations I am driving out before you are unclean. They are defiled. Right? So everybody can look these verses up and you can read them. And he said, don't let these words depart out of your mouth. So we already know the words are going to be offensive to some people. What can we do about that? I have gotten the channel blocked, taken down, everything else for just reading the Bible. You know, because people hate God and the truth that much. When it ain't for them, they hate it. Why not try to understand God? Why not try to see what your role is as a Gentile with God in the Bible, in the Torah? You know, why not see what options you have? Why just discredit everything God said and hate it? Homosexuals do that, right? Since homosexuality is an abomination in the Lord's eyesight, now they don't want to have nothing to do with God and they hate it because it's not including what they desire. And that ain't that. I mean, I can just tell you like this: that's gonna get you sent to hell fast. Job 14:4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So he said he made these people the crooked serpents. Their behavior is not right. And so all we have to do is look at the nations in general. What is the whore of Babylon? The Gentile nations is whores. They unclean. They sleep with anything. They eat anything. Look, the number one thing they eat is pork. It's unclean, right? They are unclean. So he's saying, you can't make the thing that I made unclean and crooked, clean and straight. And this is how God is talking to you. He wasn't talking to them. He was talking to you. Deuteronomy 9:4. When the Lord your God has driven them out before you, driven who out? Gentiles. Do not say in your heart, because of my righteousness, the Lord has brought me into this to possess the land. It wasn't anything that you did, Israelite. God chose and God did. We have nothing to do with who's clean and who's unclean, who's tall and who's short, who's white and who's black. We have nothing to do with this. Rather, the Lord will drive out these nations before you because of their wickedness, because they are crooked, because they keep doing what's wrong in his eyesight, because the nations, and this is what I boiled it down to, believe that they have options to obey and not obey. They got a free choice, just like we showed the abortions. They got a free choice to abort a baby and kill it. They got a free choice to drink some liquor if they feel like it. They got a free choice to be homosexuals or fornicators and adulterers. You don't have no choice when you believe in God. And this is what I know. Very few Israelites are going to make it, and very few Gentiles are going to make it. A handful from each. And when I say a handful, 8 people out of the whole world were saved before. That should tell you everything. Job 26:13. By his spirit he has garnished the heavens, and his hands has formed a crooked serpent. They didn't make themselves. God made Gentiles, right? But he has driven them out because of their wickedness, but he made them crooked. I got stopped up nose, so excuse that. Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. And I'm not trying to make this take long, it's just taking long. Philippians 2:15. That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. So it's saying all the nations are what? Crooked and perverse. You are spread out all around the world. And he's saying those nations are what that he's going to destroy? That's why he made a Gentile destroyer, not a son of Adam destroyer, a Gentile destroyer. Because they are crooked and perverse. They are what? Unclean, among whom you shine as lights in the world. The Gentiles can say, you don't shine as lights. Y'all murder each other and y'all do this and y'all do that. That is a delusion. You say, Raptor News, tell me how that's a delusion. That's on TV every single day. You know, black people, that's what they'll say, kill more black people than cops. Sure. And so I'm going to say this. We go back to Genesis again. The black woman is cursed with having not only the seed of Adam, which is Abel, she also can have the seed of the Gentile, the devil, which is Cain. All those black people you see with guns, gangbanging, cripping, prostitution, and all of that are nothing but Gentiles. What do we call those black Gentiles? Jakes. And guess what? The Jakes are going to be left here to war with Esau and Edom, the white Gentiles, the Asian Gentiles, the Moabites, right? You're going to be left here to war with each other. We are going to be taken out. A lot of Jakes believe they are in the camps, they are this, they are that, but they are nothing but Gentiles. And then here's what God said. All the gods of the Gentiles are idols, and that's why they saying Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, adding partners with God, which is what? Idolatry. They keep adding Christ. A partner with God is idolatry. God says he's alone. Why they keep adding Jesus with him? Because they are black Gentiles. So when I'm saying Gentiles, I'm saying white, black, yellow, green, and brown. Doesn't matter what color, they all Gentiles. They all are perverse and crooked, says God. Even if they do act straight, and they can make it, their nature is crooked and perverse. Deuteronomy 7:3. So he told us, do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughters to their sons, or take their daughters for your sons, because they will turn your sons away from following me. Because why? He said they was crooked and perverse, and you can't make something he made crooked straight. To serve other gods. They're going to add Jesus. They're going to add sexuality. They're going to add lust. They're going to add this. The Gentile will worship anything. Height, color, anything that you admire and praise is worship. Your job, money, status, you know. Then the anger of the Lord will burn against you. The anger of the Lord will what? Burn against you. And he will swiftly destroy you, Israelite. Because what? You intermarried with them. And they're going to corrupt you. They won't fail to corrupt you. Because God already told you. You can't say God is wrong. Joshua 23:11. Or are you sinning? Take good heed, therefore, unto yourself, that you love the Lord your God. Else, if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations. So he just told you one time, you can't marry him, right? You can't cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you. And you shall make marriages with them, and go unto them and sleep with them. And they you. So a man with a woman and a woman with a man. Know for certain that the Lord your God will no more drive out these nations from before you. I'm driving them out to keep you clean and pure from them being crooked. And this is what the Old Testament is teaching us. We can't say, God, you're wrong. I know, and you don't know God. And that's what a lot of people want to do. but they shall be snares and traps unto you. Bait car, right? Yeah. And scourges in your side, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God have given you. Guess what? Where we at now? Perished off the good land, ain't it? So who was right? God was right. Why? For them turning you into idol worshipers. Is not this why Israel is over here in captivity right now across all these nations worldwide? Idol worship. Is not Israel in the land of the Gentile idol worshiping Jesus Christ? Yes. They still don't get it till now. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb. Why'd you put that there? Let's find out. Proverbs 5:1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thy ear unto my understanding, that thou might regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of the strange woman, which is the white woman or the Gentile woman, drop as an honeycomb, meaning that her words are pleasant. And her mouth is smoother than oil, and it come out right. The words that you want to hear. But her end is bitter as wormwood, planted hell. Sharp as two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold of hell. Any woman of the nations, you'll go to hell with her, being with her. She ain't going to fail to corrupt you. Any Gentile man, if you're a woman and with him, and that's the thing on the internet now, all these interracial relationships, and that's what the devil got us all doing. He didn't say don't respect the Gentile. He didn't say don't like the Gentile. He didn't say the Gentile can't sojourn with you and you can't sojourn with them. We sojourned in Egypt, a Gentile land. That makes sense to everybody? We lived there a good long while. We had many children in their land. We sojourning in Gentile land right now. But still, we have to keep these commandments and be separate. You know, we can like each other. We can temporarily, and that's what sojourn means, a temporary stay. It wasn't for prolonged or any time, because God wants us to be separate. It ain't Rap the News wants to be separate because he's a racist. Am I reading my own words here? No. Can everybody read along with me? Yes, you can. Ain't that what Obama said? Yes, you can. Proverbs 22:14. The mouth of a Gentile woman is a deep pit. She is seducing you to go to hell. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. So if God hates you, you with a Gentile woman. Don't you understand? She seduced you into being with her. Okay. Jeremiah 9:25. Behold, the days come, says the Lord, that I will punish all of them, except for you, huh? All of them. What did that mean? Every last one, which are circumcised, sons of Adam, with the uncircumcised, the unclean, sons of Satan. Nehemiah 13:27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marrying strange wives? Because who made the rules? Who is separating? Who is casting out? Who is setting apart? Our God. And you're doing great evil in marrying Gentile wives. He's going to punish you for being with a Gentile wife. He already told you her words are smooth and she'll say everything you like. But it's a deep pit and you're going to fall in it. He already told you you're going to fall for it. Watch. Here's what I know from loving a lot of women. Some of them you're going to keep thinking about. They can be the worst women in the world for you. For some reason, you can't tell your heart that. So you just want to go back with them, even though you know they garbage. Same thing with a Gentile woman. Even though you know she ain't the right woman for you and is making God upset. when you done been with them for so damn long, you can't let it go. And this is the trial of man. Can you let it go for the sake of the Most High God and do what's right before His eye? Let's read more. Nehemiah 10:30. And that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, which is the Gentiles, nor take their daughters for our sons. Our sons can't marry them. Judges 3:6. And they took, despite what God said, the daughters of these people in marriage. Who is these people? Gentiles. And they gave their own daughters to their sons, and they served their gods. How? Instantly, when God gave you a command, did you know rejecting the command repeatedly is idol worship? Because it's a service to the devil. Because God is giving you a command, and Satan inside of your heart is giving. Satan talks to your heart. Satan talks to your lust and your emotions. And he uses your heart and your emotions and your lusts and your passions against you. He exploits your hormones. And that's what's happening. So, when you take the Gentile wife, you are going against God now. And you are admiring that woman, loving that woman, and being with that woman. And basically, you have become an idol worshiper of that woman. You become an idol worshiper of the devil who is telling you to be with that woman when God says, what? I done separated y'all. I done set y'all apart. I done cast them out. But if you keep going to them, then I'm going to hook y'all up together and destroy y'all together. Ezra 9:2. Indeed, and this is what it's saying. Anytime you can go back and listen to it again. The Israelites have taken some of their daughters as wives for themselves and their sons, so that the holy seed, you are a people set apart and holy unto God, has been mixed with the people of the land, the crooked serpent. And the leaders and officials have taken the lead in this unfaithfulness. And that's why it becomes idolatry. Sin becomes idolatry after a while. Any repeated sin is idolatry. Believe that or not. Like I said, I've been doing it for a long time. Ezra 10, number 10. And Ezra, the priest, stood up. What do you mean stood up? He said, I ain't having it no more. And said unto them, you have transgressed, and you have taken strange wives. Didn't God say no to that? To increase the trespass of Israel. Who are you trespassing against? The words of the Most High God, who said what? Be you separate and set apart from them. Do not marry their wives, or their women, and never let your sons marry or your daughters marry. Now therefore make confessions unto the Lord your God, the God of your fathers, and do his pleasure. Do what pleases God. And separate yourselves from the people of the land, the Gentiles, and from the strange wives, your Gentile wives. What did he tell you to do? Separate. The prophet is saying what? What God said. Separate from the strange wife, because what? You have been what? Unfaithful to God. Nehemiah 13:25. I rebuked them and called down curses on these people who would not separate. I beat some of these men and pulled out their hair. Then I made them take an oath before God and said, you must not give your daughters in marriage to their sons, or take their daughters as wives for your sons or for yourselves. You cannot. They got their ass beat for doing that. All right? Let's finish it up. Deuteronomy 23:2. A bastard, which means a mixed child, a Hebrew and a Gentile mix, is called a bastard. People think a bastard is just a child out of wedlock. No. A bastard is a mixed child. Shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord even to his 10th generation. shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. And so you still cast out. Your children are cast out, but yourselves are also cast out. And yourselves are also destroyed when the Lord get here and you walking hand in hand with a Gentile, you are going to be destroyed. Now, Nehemiah 13:3. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they was going to be destroyed, that God was upset, that they was unfaithful to their Lord, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. Anybody that was a bastard, a mixed child, was separated from Israel because they heard what the prophet said, the prophet Nehemiah. You can't be with them. Can't marry them. You cannot have children with them. Even though you do, you are making the Lord angry. Ezra 10:17, and they made an end with all the men that have taken strange wives. We don't deal with them no more. What do you mean an end? They got kicked out of Israel by the first day of the first month on the new year. They got kicked out of Israel on the new year. Them and their children and their strange wives. And so we go back up to it. This book was not given to the nations. They don't have this law. They abhor this law. That's why Paul is saying, if we going by the law, the Gentiles don't have a chance. But they ain't reading the part that if the Gentiles are good to Israel, then they blessed along with us. They don't want to hear that. And then it's things that the Gentiles must do, like bow down to man, and they don't want to do that. And so they damning themselves by not obeying God. So we have a commandment that we are not supposed to be with Gentiles, and the Gentiles have a commandment that they must be good to Israel, and Israel must be good to Israel. Right? Because these are God's chosen people. Right? And then what? And then they must bow down. The nations must bow down and serve Jacob, meaning the Israelites. So if you are married, this is what I would say, even if my own self, and I'm not married to a Gentile, maybe a black Gentile, and that's illegal, but these are the ones that are born from among us. Those ones that are born not from among us, that are strangers, that's what they said. Ones that's born in our household, even if they Gentile, they not strangers. He's talking about the strange woman, the one that comes from China, the one that comes from this place and that place, the one that comes from Europe. Those are strange women. These are the women of our youth, the one, even if they Gentile. So a lot of prophets had Gentile wives, but it wasn't those Gentile wives, even though they infiltrated the Torah and made Solomon and other people pretend like they was with Gentile wives, and those Gentile wives, they built shrines for the prophets did. It's all lies. Like I said, they made our prophets and sit the drunks. They made our prophets Gentile lovers, and I'm talking about married Gentile women and everything else, and then they did a whole lot to our prophets, everything under the sun, And if they screw up your prophets and your prophets will screw up, of course the people are going to be screwing up. So that's why they did that to us. Anyway, so just like I said, if you had the strength to do what God said, you better do it because you already know the consequences. This is Rap the News.